What you saying, huh? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Alright, that's when my YouTube career is over. Alright. WWE 2k24 gameplay is here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not really different from 2k23 in general. But the ambulance match, oh my god, that looks so much fun. I've seen gameplay of the backstage with 4 people now. It looks good. Throwing weapons look funny as shit. Oh my god. Today we're gonna be reacting to SMACKTALKS' new video. I think this video is basically explaining like what he experienced playing the game so far and what he's excited for, or any more details he wants to give us about the game. Go ahead and do that already, man. Fuck.
Ahead of the release of WWE 2k24,
okay, this is the back and forth mechanic.
To Florida to go hands-on
it
with
looks
the game
good.
And try out
oh, that looks so good.
features, including the brand new
there's the
ambulance
backstage.
Match,
There's backstage. I was gonna say there's
the
ambulance.
2K showcase. So I'm going to go over everything that I played and show you some examples of this year's new features. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, I'll be posting a lot of new gameplay over the coming days. So if you want to see more of 2K24, then please do hit that subscribe button and enable
subscribe to SmackTalks.
So that you don't miss
one of my
out
favorite
videos.
WWE 2K content creators,
So let's
bro.
talk WWE 2K24. As over the weekend, I was able to try out a special preview build that featured around 20 superstars and several different match types, including regular singles matches, up to 4-player backstage brawls, a 10-person Royal Rumble, and the new ambulance match, as well as 3 matches from this year's 2K showcase. To start things off, I want to talk gameplay, as the majority of the core gameplay in 2K24 remains the same as it did in 2K23.
That's what I expect.
and
Nothing
that's
changed,
not a bad
really.
thing, as the gameplay in 2K23 was some of the best that we've
It
seen
is one of the
in
best.
years.
Look at Seth
Rather
Rollins'
than make
attire.
drastic changes, the developers have
That's
opted
maybe
to
my
make lots
favorite.
of smaller ones that really add to the overall experience. One of the biggest updates is the addition of a new Trading Blows minigame, which each player can activate
like
once.
this. It looks
by holding
good.
the light strike button, though it can also occur automatically at specific moments during a match. The minigame itself sees players trading blows in turn-based fashion, with the controls working in a similar manner to the old circular bar that was used for pinfalls. To launch a blow, players need to hold the strike button to begin filling the meter, and then let go to stop the bar in the designated area. If you miss the target, you'll be given a strike, miss it 3 times and your opponent will seize the opening and leave you vulnerable to an attack. If both players continue to stop the meter in the target zone, then the minigame will end in a deadlock in which all players will begin to pummel each other, with the winner decided by the player to quickly press the heavy strike button the fastest.
I like that.
The addition of this minigame is a great way for players to start matches rather than going straight into moves, which helps to give matches
I always
more of a
miss that.
simulation
I always
feel,
miss that kind of
similar to the way
feature.
the chain wrestling system used to work in previous games.
I wish he did bring back the chain
Another
wrestling
big
though.
change takes place at ringside, as the announce tables have undergone an upgrade which allows them to be much more interactive. After clearing the padding from the top of the table, players are now free to climb the table and perform diving attacks, which is a feature that's been missing from the series for almost a decade. Not only can players climb the table themselves, but this year they can also place an opponent on the table and then climb up with them, where they'll then have the ability to perform irregular grapple moves both onto and off.
Oh, that's hot! Oh, that's fucking hot.
Using regular moves is that they won't break the table, so you can perform them multiple times.
Yes.
So
Oh my god.
through them, and you can still do this using a finisher.
Oh, the animation looked good too. Only triggers were finishers, I guess. But that's good.
On the subject of finishes, this year sees the addition of new super
Alright,
finishes,
let's see what they're talking about
which
with
are a
super
much
finishers.
more powerful variant that you can use to finish a match. Super finishes can be performed using the finisher button after saving up 3 stored finishes, which will then enable a super finisher prompt.
That looked goofy as fuck underneath Cody's. The trifecta crossroads. It looks good. It looks fucking good.
As super finishers require 3 stored finishes, they all pack the power of 3 finishes into a single move, which causes major damage to an opponent and disables their ability to use resiliency, which leaves you with a much higher chance of winning. While some super finishers see triple versions of a regular finisher, like the new triple crossroads for Cody, other super finishers use special variations of that star's regular finisher. For example, The Undertaker has the regular tombstone as his normal finisher, while his super finisher sees him use the leaping version, which now not only looks more powerful, but it actually deals way more damage.
Okay.
Of the changes, this one was one that I really liked, as it limits these kind of moves being used as a last resort, which mirrors how they're used on TV, as if the RKO doesn't put you away, then you might see Randy Orton save up his finishers and use the punt kick, which would then likely end the match, just as it would on TV. Another great example is Kevin Owens, as while he has the stunner as a regular finisher, he has both the package pile driver and the apron powerbomb as his super finishers, which seems a lot more fitting, as both moves are much more powerful when they're portrayed on TV. And
I'll
given
fuck
how
with
they're
that.
used
So
as super
does that mean
finishers,
Sami
then
Zayn's
they're not portrayed the same way in
do the
game.
turnbuckle? Is that gonna be a super
One
finisher for
fun
him?
change that I found myself using quite often was the ability to throw weapons.
This is what I'm talking
Rather
about.
than being limited
Their own
to
weapons.
strike attacks, players are now able to launch weapons as projectiles, with all but one weapon able to be thrown. The best thing about this is when it happens unexpectedly, as during a backstage brawl, I was solely focused on my opponent, when out of nowhere I was taken out by a flying trash
Oh my
can.
god! What the
Speaking
fuck?
of weapons, the build also included some new ones, one of which was the water bottle, which can be picked up and thrown at opponents,
What?
and it also comes with a special animation when used with a taunt.
That's cool.
Other new
Alright.
weapons come as part of an update to the signature weapon feature, as rather than use the weapon
Yeah.
wheel, should you grab a weapon from under the ring with LA Knight, then he'll pull out a microphone, which also features a special taunt. Adding to the realism, this year sees the addition of licensed referees, as 2K have added 7 real WWE
That's dope.
referees.
Referees?
Of
Hey
the
man, show
7,
some love to the
2 were
referees
included
finally,
in
bro.
this build. One was Charles Robinson,
Shout out to
who was the
Charles
official
Robinson,
in
bro.
exhibition
Legend.
matches, while Jessica Carr was shown off within the 2K
Shout out to
showcase.
Jessica.
Adding to the list, we also know that AJ Smith is featured, as she was shown off in the trailer footage, though the other 4 currently remain a mystery. Alongside these
man.
changes,
I
there's
don't like
also
the
plenty of
slingshot
smaller ones,
technology.
including a host of new and returning features, including the ability to remove singlet
That's
straps
what I'm
with
talking
certain
about,
superstars.
bro.
Overall, the gameplay in 2K24 is the best it's been since 2K19, with the new additions really adding to the overall experience and helping to flesh out the simulation side of things, with more updates also teased for the future. As while I couldn't get it to trigger in this build, I was told that the crawl motion is also set to return, with players able to crawl over and make a pinfall
let's
to
go.
collapse
Okay.
into the mat. One of the biggest updates in this year's game is the addition of 4 new match types, one of which that I was able to try was the ambulance
more match
match,
types.
which makes its console debut. The ambulance match starts with a cutscene.
it has
of
its
the
own little
ambulance as it backs
cutscene.
up to ringside, which shown to be driven
so
by
good, it
WWE
looks so
referee
clean.
Charles Robinson, who's one of 7 licensed referees to be featured. As he backs the ambulance up to ringside, the announcer goes through the match rules, stating that to win the match, you'll have to force your opponent into the ambulance using any means necessary and then close both doors. Once the match begins, you'll find the ambulance parked at ringside, where you're able to interact with it and open the doors. With the doors open, players can attempt to throw their opponent into the ambulance in all sorts of different ways, as rather than limit players to dragging an opponent over to the ambulance, the developers have included plenty of variety, as it's also possible to throw players in with an Irish whip, or lift them into the carry position and attempt a powerbomb. Once your opponent is inside the ambulance, you'll see a prompt to close the doors, which when pressed will trigger the closure minigame, which works in the same way as the minigame that's used for submissions, with players having to
Like I said, I already
press the
seen this,
button
but you
shown
guys
on
haven't seen this.
screen.
It looks
If you're
really
successful,
fucking good.
this will cause your
it
opponent to
seems fun.
stumble backwards and allow you to close the first door, with the minigame then repeating a second time for the other. If your opponent wins this round, then you'll see them burst out of the ambulance and escape. However, if you're successful a second
That's
time,
fire.
then you'll close the doors and be declared the winner. Overall, this is a really fun match type that the developers have gone all out with, as there's lots of ways to interact with the ambulance outside of the
do seem like they
minigame,
did, like,
as
they took
players
their
can
time
use
with
the
this.
ambulance to their advantage and
And
slam their
which I'm
opponent
very
into the
happy.
doors, as well as climbing the ladder on the side, which allows both players to then duke it out on top. The top of the ambulance works similar to the Hell in a Cell, where you can fight
Now,
on
with
it and
this
perform
stipulation
moves,
of this match,
as
can
well as
we-
throwing
oh,
opponents
shit.
off using whips and carry moves, which you can then follow up with a dive.
I want to know, can you use...
The only negative that I found with the match was the AI, as after climbing the ambulance, it didn't seem to know how to get down, though I've been told that that is something that's already been addressed. As speaking to the developers, I was told that this was a very early build and that the AI had since been updated. While not a new match type, another new addition is an update to Backstage Brawls, as 2K have increased the player limit from 2 to 4, which makes things a lot more fun and competitive. When loading into these matches, all 4 players will spawn in together before making their way to different parts of the backstage area, with the AI controlled players moving off screen and out of view while the camera stays focused on those that are controlled by the player. The decision to handle the camera in this manner can make for some pretty cool moments, as weapons are thrown unexpectedly from out of view,
Oh my
and
God.
players will launch themselves from ledges.
I feel like that's going to be so fucking funny
While handling
online.
the camera in this way makes a lot of sense and stops the camera from pulling
Is
out
the
to
car
show
fucking
the entire
fixed? Is the
area.
car finally
I did
fixed?
find myself wondering where the other players were and what they were up to. As for the backstage
Right.
area itself, it's largely the same as it was in 2k23, though there are
read the
several
glass?
elements that you can now interact with, as the
I think we
security
said we can break
office
the
now
glass
includes
now.
the ability to break the glass when throwing players
Yes,
into it.
let's go.
Soda machines drop cans and bottles that can be picked up and thrown, and there's even a working lift, though it's not the one that you think it is, as the lift from last year remains the same, while a new lift is being added in place of the shutters that gives you a quick way of getting from the floor to the top walkway.
Okay.
Another
I'll fuck
update
with it.
sees the old ambulance from the parking lot replaced with a new one from the ambulance match, along with all of the different interactions from that match, so you can climb it and perform moves and dives, as well as opening the doors and locking your opponent inside. Another new feature for 2k24 is the addition of a
It's the camera angles, I
spectator
think.
mode, which is enabled by
Yeah.
default when simulating matches.
I've seen a little bit of
between
this
the
too, and
AI.
it looks really
Loading
good.
into a match that features only AI players, you'll notice a
I
toggle
fuck with-
option
see,
on screen.
I wanna
when
do all my
open,
matches with
displays a
this
list of
camera angle
camera
alone.
controls,
It-
which essentially put you in the role
I'll
of a
save it at the
producer,
end of the
where
video.
you're able to cycle through different camera angles and target specific superstars. The options here are really well done and allow you to present matches like the Royal Rumble as we see it on TV, where you can quickly change to a close-up shot of a close.
A lot of content creators, a lot of YouTubers are going to use this as a motherfucker. That looks so good.
Or sit back and take in the action from any point within the arena. The camera controls also lead me on to one of the most popular changes from the initial reveal, as players now have the option to pause the game and change the fixed camera from the crowd-facing camera to a stage-facing camera, which gives the arenas a completely different feel that I'd imagine will
I love
greatly
that we
enhance
can do
custom
that now.
arenas, as you'll now be able to see the stage during matches. This year's 2K Showcase is the showcase of the Immortals, which celebrates all
Alright,
40
showcase mode.
years of WrestleMania. Much like the original 30 years of WrestleMania that we've seen in 2K's first WWE game, 2K14, the Showcase of the Immortals highlights key matches and moments from the vast history of WrestleMania. Of the matches featured, the preview build contained 3 playable matches, including The Ultimate Warrior vs Rick Rude from WrestleMania 5, Rhea Ripley vs Charlotte Flair from WrestleMania 39, and Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns, also from WrestleMania 39. The showcase is introduced by Corey Graves, who goes over the backstory leading into the match
Alright,
and
bet.
helps to set up the story, with the
think
gameplay
I
then
think I said that in
following
my video.
previous showcase entries, in which players must complete historical objectives to progress through the mode and unlock new
Same old
characters
showcase
and
stuff.
arenas. Presented using 2K's slingshot technology that was first introduced in WWE 2k22, showcase matches feature a mixture of gameplay and real-world footage, with the slingshot tech allowing in-game cutscenes to seamlessly transition into real footage and back. The decision to use real footage is one that is always up for debate on whether this is seen as a good thing or a bad thing, and while many players like the use of real footage, personally, in this scenario, I found the real footage to take me out of the match, as while the actual footage from these matches is used, the audio is being dubbed over to feature Corey Graves, who goes on to narrate the action throughout the clips. While I personally wasn't a fan of the cuts to live action, I did enjoy the matches overall, though there were points where it did feel a little bit flat, as like last year there's no commentary during matches with music playing in its place. Speaking of last year, one of the more positive elements was that we're not limited to playing as a single superstar, so there's plenty of variety between matches, with the showcase also bringing with it a large amount of arenas, legends and alternate attires, including some that were a genuine surprise as they were only shown in live action footage and not present at ringside. While I don't believe I'm allowed to share who the unlockables are specifically, I can say there's quite a few based on the matches that I played, so even if you're not a fan of the showcase, it'll be worthwhile to complete it for the unlockables alone. So there's a rundown of what was available in the preview build and some of the things that I was able to try. It was a very limited build in terms of what was available, but I really enjoyed the gameplay, especially the more simulation based elements and the addition of the ambulance match, as I didn't think that would be as in depth as it was, so it's left me really intrigued to see how the other match types work. Going forward, I'll be continuing to post new gameplay over the coming days, as well as going into more details on changes, So if you want to know more, please do subscribe
Most
to the
definitely,
channel for
most
less.
definitely.
Let me know your thoughts on everything that I spoke about in the comments.
Wait, is that
And most
ambulance match
importantly,
winning
thank you for
animation?
taking the time to watch. Have yourself an
Alright,
awesome
that's
day.
cool. Beautiful video by SmackTalks, bro. Subscribe to him, for especially if you're excited for WWE 2k24. He's gonna cover everything. I put a link down below to his channel and to this video if you want to watch it for yourself. I'm gonna recap all it up for yourself. It seems like 2K really took their time to make this match, not like a rush little thing, but I'm glad they took their time with it, put some extra little components into it. The idea I had for this while watching this was, can we, it's kind of a dumb question, but can we add a little more weapons to the match? Because as I've seen the gameplay, I see no other weapons. I didn't see no table, so maybe you can put a table next to the ambulance and we can throw somebody off. They can fight through the table or something. He did mention that AI is not really like intelligent enough to climb down, but it seems like 2K is working on it to fix it. If y'all remember, during the pandemic era, it was Edge versus Randy Orton, and during the match they're on top of a ambulance. I think, was it an ambulance or just like a truck alone? I don't remember. And they did a spot on top of the ambulance. That's what I think they got the inspiration to bring back the ambulance match. And maybe that's in the showcase. I don't know if Edge is in the game or not. I don't think Edge is, but it might be a chance. I don't know, man. Hey, all I gotta say, the ambulance match looks so good. Now you can do regular moves on top of the announce table. 100% lock me in. Thank fucking God, 2K. You can bring down the straps. You can bring down the straps now, man. Oh my God, I missed that feature so much. I missed it so much when they took it out, man. I just felt hype when I took down the straps. When I'm playing as Kurt Angle, and now I'm playing as Braun Breaker, taking down the straps after I do a spear. Oh my fucking God, my brother. Nobody's safe online. Nobody is safe. To me, I don't like the slingshot technology. I think it's not that like, it's easy for 2K to do it, but also at the same time it takes me out of the mode, especially with 40 years of WrestleMania and the amount of matches we're about to have in that. It's gonna make the mode kind of dragging on. But as the gameplay he showed, it doesn't seem like we're gonna have too much of the slingshot in it. So maybe 2K knows that people don't like it as much, so they're gonna bring it back just a little bit, because you can tell from the Roman Reigns and Cody match when he showed it did show that Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan Spike on Cody, and right after that Roman Reigns does a spear. But it didn't just do like a cutscene of winning the match. It seems like you have the ability to end the match yourself. So I guess it's a little bit changing up, and he did say that Corey Graves is going to be commentating when the slingshot footage happens, but we're still going to have no commentary with music behind it. So that's still weird, but I'm still excited for this game. I'm scared to upload this because I'm pretty sure 2K is going to knock my channel again. Not 2K, sorry, 2K, you're beautiful. WWE, you're gonna knock my video again. I know it is. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to keep it on the channel, but hey, I'm just here to give my opinions out. That's all I'm just saying. But once again, thank you to SmackTalks. You're a beautiful human being. I love your channel. If you want to see more of any updates about 2K, of anything, subscribe to his channel. Link description to his channel, and also link to this video. And if you want to see more reaction videos or content on this channel in general, because I'm trying my best to upload Tekken 8, but every time I try to get the video out, more news about WWE comes out and I'll be compelled to make a video about it. I'm not a news channel, man. Fuck. But I have a lot of things to say. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.